to our farm. I'm Anya Pinkerton, and today I'm going to talk to you about chemical safety and ag chemicals. What we've got behind me is our sprayer. We use it to control weeds on our fields. If you pan over there, you can see our fields. It's still a little bit early spring, but as soon as the weather warms up, those fields will be popping with some green weeds and growth, and we'll be using this sprayer to control the weeds in our farm, just like you would control the weeds on your garden. You know, when you plant your seeds, there's a lot of competition, dandelions, all kinds of things can get into your garden and not help that plant so it doesn't grow very well. So we have to use some chemicals and some tillage, things like that to help control weeds on our farm. We use no-till, so in order to do no-till, we don't do any tillage on our farm. What we do is use chemicals and we spray them to control the weeds. We'll put fungicides on, other different things with this big John Deere sprayer. So this sprayer will hold 800 gallons of chemicals. That's 800 gallons. So you take your gallon jug of milk and multiply that times 800, and that's how many gallons that tank holds. And then these booms are 90 feet long. So that's a 90-foot span every time he goes on the field to apply whatever chemical. Now when he's got his chemicals and he's doing that kind of work, he's got to be safe. So we make sure we have goggles on our head to keep our chemicals out of our eyes. We keep our gloves on and our coveralls, all those things we do to make sure that we're safe on the farm, because chemicals can be dangerous. Just like you've got different chemicals, I'm sure in your house, if you wanted to pick a chemical, you could pick, bleach or what you use to clean your bathroom. All those things are used that could be dangerous as well. So we just want to make sure everybody stays safe. Okay, now we're in the warehouse. This is where we store our seed and our chemicals to plant our crops. So these will be stored in here until they go to the planter and the sprayer when the weather gets fit to spray and plant. So we have to be careful. All of our stuff is marked very well in here, so everybody knows what it is. The seed's very well marked, the chemicals are very well marked, so everybody knows what's in here and knows what's in these containers, so we know how to stay safe. When you're in your house, if you're looking at your chemicals or things that are in your house, like I said, the bleach, you got Drano, these bottles are also clearly marked. They've got skull and crossbones on them. It says danger. There's markings on these bottles to make sure that you know how to stay safe and keep yourself out of danger. So in your house, you need to make sure that these kind of chemicals are probably kept up very, very high away from small children, so that they can't get a hold of them, and they're marked in the cabinet so nobody knows, or everybody knows, to stay out of those cabinets and keep the little kids safe. Because kids are curious and they just want to grab stuff, and we're going to go into that here in a little bit on how easy it is to get things mixed up. So labeling is very important to make sure that you know what's in your containers and what they are, just so you know how to stay safe.
So we talked about labeling and how important it is to know what everything is and where it's at. You may think these are Gatorade bottles, and they are, but what's inside them is actually chemicals. Some are chemicals, some are actually Gatorade. So we just want to make sure that you understand labeling is important. It's important to know what you are putting in your body and what you're putting on your skin, because without labels, you could easily end up in the hospital or worse. So make sure you read your labels, you pay attention to the signs and the labels that are on all of your drugs, and keep things safe. So be careful.
Okay, so to wrap this up, here in the next couple of weeks, you're going to see a lot of sprayers and a lot of planters on the road. Everybody's going to be going to the fields and trying to get the seeds planted as fast and as furious as we possibly can. First things first, these things are huge machines, so make sure that you are staying very clear and away from all those equipment. If you're around this kind of equipment, you need to make sure that the person in the cab can see you at all times. So it's important to be safe. That's the first thing. If you're going to be out and running, there's guys that are spraying and planting around your field. If there's farmers planting around your house, make sure that you are careful, because you don't know what chemicals they've applied to those fields. You don't know what farming practices they've done. Always ask permission to the farmer or talk to your parents before you go into a field that's been planted or sprayed, just because some of that stuff can irritate your skin, and we don't want any of that you to have a bad experience. The farm is a wonderful place. This is where we provide our food. and our fiber and everybody is able to keep going. So, I mean, the farm is a wonderful place, and it's a great place to continue to raise corn, beans. We love what we do, but we want to do it safely. So just make sure that you guys are aware of what your surroundings and aware of labels and are staying out of trouble. All right, thank you very much.